Good evening and God bless everyone who's tuning in tonight to Hempin with Father Joe. In our usual fashion, we'll open up in prayer, asking you, Father God, to just please bless us, God, with your knowledge and guide us and direct us in everything we do and discuss tonight on tonight's show, and guide us, Lord, legislatively, Lord, and with policy making, and God, just help us to do the next right thing and to shape policy that makes sense and doesn't kill the farmer. And at the end of the day, everybody wins. And we ask these things in your name, Lord. Amen. So, with that being said, welcome to the show again. I have Tasha Roundtree and, excuse me, I'll sneeze really quick. Oh, boy, just about sneeze. Tasha Roundtree and Kevin Butler are with us tonight. And I may still sneeze, so I apologize ahead of time. Got something in my nose here, just burning. Anyways, with that being said, I'm gonna bring them in, and we're gonna do our monthly show and talk about a few things that we were talking about last time. Hi, Tasha, are you with us? Can you hear me, Tasha?
I can hear you. I'm here.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Hold on a minute, Kevin. Kevin, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you?
Good. Good to hear your voice, sir. And Tasha, it's always great to hear from you too. And I just wanted to I'm going to just mention a couple of things about my pastor, Rocky Wing. Some of you here that tune into this and watch this, you guys, we want to give our deepest condolences to his wife, Beverly, and his family. The hearing of his passing. He was a great leader in South Lansing, where I grew up at here in Michigan. And with that being said, God bless him. And I know he's sitting in the Most High, so I know he's having he's up there with everybody we know and love. So it's a good thing. So with that being said, we got to talk about a couple things. So let's see. We want reliable, consistent, scientific roadside testing. Does that sound right, you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We want reliable, consistent, scientific roadside testing. Okay. With that, I'm just going to put a little side note there. Well, because somebody's going to watch this, they're going to say, well, what is reliable, consistent, scientific roadside testing for cannabis? We're going to try to describe it for you tonight. Now, you guys chime in and tell me if I'm missing anything here. But let me tell you what we want it to be like, the experience. We want the experience to be almost as similar as taking a roadside alcohol test. Okay? Meaning that this equipment is so accurate and has been proven to be so consistent scientifically, like the roadside alcohol testing, that they can determine by someone's weight and their consumption on an hourly basis on how much they can consume, just like an alcohol. Like for, I think we lost Kevin. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. No. We lost him. I don't know. He just dropped, but we'll keep talking about this. Okay, so roadside testing should be as safe and reliable We lost you, Kevin.
Yeah, I know. I had to join back in.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. I was like, oh, and as soon as you dropped, my phone pinged, so I thought it was you saying, "Hey, something happened." So
Yeah, it
it was
dropped
some
me in and
strange
out.
person, some other person that's outside of the show. Okay, so we were talking about roadside alcohol testing, looking like we want it to look like and be as reliable and as scientifically accurate as it is for alcohol as it is for cannabis. And I'll give you an example. So I weigh 300 pounds. I'm 6'2", 300 pounds. I want to know if I was to use cannabis, I don't know, smoke a joint, for example, or do a dab, or take a 10 milligram gummy. How many hours do I have to wait until I can operate equipment like a vehicle or a tractor or a four-wheeler or any kind of mechanical equipment? How long would it take before I'm okay to operate that equipment? I believe this is the way that it is today. Like right now, that they have this testing right now, but here's the flaw with it that I see in it: the testing that they're doing today. It isn't on a hourly basis. It's my understanding that you could have used up to 30 days ago and you would test positive for cannabis. You'd literally, if you had used cannabis 30 days ago, you're gonna drop dirty. That's how this is happening today, right now. It's my understanding.
Yes, they will give you a roadside test if you refuse in Ohio. If you refuse the roadside test, they will take you to the station and they will give you by force a blood test. If it comes back that you have weed in your system, you're
Is that
you're
today?
still.
Yep.
Hello, Mr. Day. You are still guilty.
Hello, you all.
What's up, Mr.
Sorry
Day?
for joining late. I was at my daughter's birthday party. Y'all know.
Yeah, we heard. Happy birthday.
Yes, thank you. What are we talking about? Roadside tests that came in?
Yeah, roadside testing. What it looks like, what it should feel like, the experience should be like. In short, I said it should be like alcohol testing. This should be that accurate. With whatever you weigh, it takes this much time, this many hours before you can safely operate some type of equipment, whether it be a car, motorcycle, whatever, boat. It takes this long before you can drive. And
Right.
It ain't that way today. I said very briefly about right now, they can pull you over and test you. And if you use cannabis, at least this is my understanding, up to 30 days ago, you could be in trouble.
Okay,
That's not safe.
Here's my thing, and I know I'm coming in late. So you guys may have already, discussed this, but it sounds like when we think and we talk and discuss about these roadside tests, all we compare them to is alcohol. But, and I say but, and this is a prescription. This is a medical prescription. You know what I mean? Alcohol is not a prescription. So if, let's say, someone is prescribed Xanax or something like that, you can Google it and it'll show you how long Xanax or opiates stay in your body. You know what I mean? Now, I was hoping we can take more of that approach and, try and put it in line with what it really is, a medicine, a prescription. You know what I'm saying? So I understand as far as comparing it to alcohol and using, those tests and those guidelines, so per se, but it's hard for me to grasp that when I'm looking at this as a medication and as a prescription. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yes, but I would have to push that.
Tasha, tell them what you were saying.
Yes, please.
Okay. Here's what I would say to that, Mr. Ken.
Okay.
That if we're going to look at this as a medication, then with some medications, you are not allowed to drive because it does put you in an altered state. So if you're under certain medications, maybe you shouldn't be driving. Maybe you should have a lift. If you are a chronic, say you use RSO, which
Yep.
is super concentrated. And so if you're on RSO, maybe you shouldn't be driving for medical purposes, the same way certain people are on narcolepsy medications. So
Yep.
let's look at it as a medication as equal. So this RSO is equal to maybe morphine or maybe, like I said, narcolepsy. And so therefore you wouldn't be able to legally drive anyway. So the reason we do it to alcohol is because we acknowledge that even though this is medication, you can be impaired to the point of you should not be driving. So we do need to have some tests because I will personally admit I was driving high and I was looking for the police because I knew I was too high to be driving.
Yeah, I've been there. Okay, so let me ask
Hey,
you
you
this.
guys, I just want to put in, somebody made a comment. She's actually a member, Cammie Lancaster. She's, let me see how it posts on here. There, can you guys see it?
Depending on the person's medical status, even if they're a regular user. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like what you guys are talking about. It's like, how do you, let me say this. I agree with you, Ken. It's like for medical use, there needs to be some kind of special exceptions, right?
Yeah.
In my mind. But
Right.
I'm going to tell you how they're going to vote. They're going to treat this like booze, like alcohol. Okay?
Yeah.
That's how they're going to do it. They're gonna say what Tasha's saying. They're gonna say, hey, if you have to be on a heavy dosage, and some people do. We know this.
Yeah.
All of us have had to be on a heavy dosage at one time or another.
Yeah.
And we ain't out here driving around getting crazy.
No.
But there's some knuckleheads out there. They'll you know, hey,
love
if you're gonna drive, don't tell me nothing, you know.
Yeah, they love it.
You know, what if that guy or woman, God, please don't let this happen to anybody. But what if they smash into one of our children's or one of our loved ones and kill them for God's sakes or injure them? And we have the power now to be able to prevent that.
Yeah, you know, now that both of you explained it like that, and I did have I'm not going to say a rebuttal to Tasha, but I was just going to ask, you know, how do they test, you know, barbiturates and opiates and, you know, all these other substances? But I kind of answered my own question. In that case, you would get booked, you would go to a hospital, and they would take a blood test. Now, we don't want that with.
And you're still guilty of driving impaired.
Yeah.
Right. With alcohol, at least there's a test. Boom, you're good to go. You don't got to go to the hospital.
And not only that, we have a legal driving legal where you might have had a drink, but that doesn't make you a DUI. It might make you simply driving impaired.
I understand.
So that was my question: is how do we differentiate between someone who is a patient whose natural levels may be higher? Like for me, like I said, I just took some RSO. So if I had to go drive, my levels are going to be higher because I have a different medical condition. So we have to look at this as, if you're doing this for a medical reason, if you're on a certain amount or you have a certain level that you're taking, well, you shouldn't be driving.
They're going to say that.
Yeah.
And you and me and Tasha, no disrespect to you at all, Kevin, with this statement, but we've spent a lot of time in the Capitol.
Yeah.
Whether it be in Ohio or it be in Michigan.
Or
and
Kentucky.
These lawmakers are never going to go along with anybody driving high.
Right.
Right.
That's why they literally signed on to this terrible. Okay.
They're in the gate. I don't know who they are.
I'm in the middle of a broadcast.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you want me to? Do you want to talk to them?
Just pause it for a minute.
You guys, I have to excuse myself. Just talk
Big
about this
Pookie.
really quick. I'll be
Big
right back.
Pookie. I hear Big Pookie laying down the law in the back.
Somebody's at the door and they got to talk to me. So,
So,
right.
give me
so,
just a minute.
so look, I'm feeling what you're saying, Ken. So you're saying it's like it's the difference between taking a Norco and a Motrin 800.
Yeah, I mean, what's
And my thing was it's the same thing, but it's sativa or indica.
right? But still, you
One,
still scared that you know.
right, you're still impaired
You're still
regardless.
So
You're
okay, so Kevin, just to piggyback off what you're saying, and I'm not trying to rebuttal anybody. I mean, this is straight teamwork, but I'm trying to think like all these different,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So how it's going to be hard for us to make an argument as medical marijuana as a medical prescription, and we're advocating it as a prescription.
Right.
We're it's all about that being a prescription, and then
Right.
on the side say that, well, if we're driving, it needs to be treated like alcohol. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm
Right.
saying. It has to be consistent. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah, it
whatever,
has to, right.
whatever angle we come from, because these lawmakers, they got every angle covered. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so with that being said, they got to figure out, okay, if somebody's they got to figure out that person's level for them not to be high
Right.
enough to drive.
And that sounds impossible to me.
It's going to be impossible.
It's put it like this: there, just like every other medical marijuana law we've had, there's going to be some casualties of war. There's going to be people who caught cases, and then a year later they change the law up. A year and a half, you know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to be. Like we're saying, Joe, like it's been with this plant from day one, and no matter what jurisdiction, no matter what pocket we put it in, there's still it's a hard what angle are we coming from? Is this a medical prescription? Because like I was saying, it's hard to argue and advocate for it being a prescription. We're saying it's prescription. It's written like a prescription. It's treated like a prescription. We take it like a prescription.
Hey,
but
let me answer you guys.
And somebody said something in the notes right here too.
Yeah, Kimmy asked, why does it have to be compared, to alcohol? It's totally different than marijuana. Totally. I agree with that.
That's my
I
point.
agree with that. I agree with her too.
Yeah, it should.
Know that's not.
Here's the reality of it, you guys, because I'm the lobbyist. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to end up going down, talking to the lawmakers, and giving them first emailing them and saying, hey, we want to. Here's what we would like to see roadside testing look like. No, we don't tell them what we don't like. They don't want to hear that. They want, they'll listen to, though. Some of them will listen to how can we improve on it and make it safer, make the community safer by having a better, safer, more reliable, scientifically proven roadside test for cannabis. That's what we really want. That's what we all want. We just don't want. And Ken said it. There's going to be some tragedies here. Some people are going to get their asses ran over. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
But that's how this happens.
That's how it happens.
Let me tell you what's happening right now, today, this very moment. You can be pulled over right now, and they will either swab you or you will go down and get a blood test. And then if they think you're using cannabis, if they want to do that, they can do that right now. Yes. If you don't want to take their test. And if you didn't use cannabis for 30 days, could you imagine not using cannabis for a whole 24 hours? Say it's Friday night and you get out of work and you have a couple joints or something, like somebody would have a couple beers, and then you go the next morning, and you're driving and you get pulled over, and you know you're not stoned.
Yeah.
There's no way you're stoned. Anyone that's ever gotten stoned that's watching me talk right now knows there's no way anyone's high. And you get pulled over and they say, "Oh, we smell weed. We want you to take a swab." And you know better than to take the swab, because then you got no chance at all. It's just you're just submitting to their terrible test.
Right.
Let me be clear too. I'm no lawyer, so I'm not making any legal advice here. But me personally, I just don't think that's very fair to test somebody that uses cannabis if they haven't used it in 30 days. And then they have the ability to be found guilty of, like, essentially drinking and driving. That's what they're going to treat it like.
Even 30 days sounds super excessive.
Crazy. I want it within hours. You can't tell me they don't have the science to make it within hours.
Excuse me, but it's going to take us longer than 30 days.
I know.
We smoke concentrates.
Yeah.
And the concentrates are so horrible. They're not horrible to smoke, but I'm saying they're so horrible as far as you going to take a test. You're going to test dirty for 60, 70, 80 days.
Yeah, I bet you're right.
Test dirty for about 9-10 months, because I'm also a woman and I'm fluffy. So the more body fat that you have, it stores in your body fat. And as a woman, we have more glands and we have more body fat storage issues. So the fact that I do RSO and concentrate, I could test high for the next year.
It like just like the person is saying in the comments, you can't compare apples and oranges. I don't know, man. This is gonna be tough.
I think what the comparison is not weed is like alcohol. I think the comparison is what is the level of impaired that we're willing to acknowledge. Like, okay, like I said, if you have to have a alcohol level of you're a 1.5. Well, then we're acknowledging that 1.4, you can take that and still be able to drive, and you might not be drunk, you might just be impaired. Okay, then that's the same thing. We need a test to say you might not be high, but you are impaired. That is fair.
Their excuse though, and I apologize for interrupting you, but their excuses, the state's excuses, and I can't quote the gentleman who said this. Basically, this is the best they could do right now with the science they have. Okay, that's basically how it was said. And let me tell you something. I don't buy that.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think there's science out there that can show us, because there's some employers out there that have swab tests, and I'm telling you, if you ain't used within 6 hours, you will pass that test.
Yes.
Amazon is one of them.
Amazon, yes, you just said it. Amazon is one of them.
It may be too costly, so like, for example, when I was on probation 5 years ago, I stopped using, and I had to submit a urine test 3 times weekly. Now they went off of what was called nanoliters per milliliter of urine. So the threshold that they told me, for my urine to be hot or to test positive was 15 nanoliters. Now I started off testing at 90, 95, somewhere in there. It took me, and you guys seen, I'm not a real big guy, you know what I mean? It took almost 90 days for me to get down to that 15 nanogram threshold. So how are they going to, let's say you have a 300-pound guy, you know what I mean, 6'6", 300 pounds. He shares a joint with someone who's 5'6", 156 pounds. They both go their separate ways. Those are going to be two totally different I mean, way different tests. So they have
that's what we're saying. They literally have to create a whole new system where they're going to have to, like alcohol. Like it doesn't matter how much you weigh.
Okay. Maybe if we start saying
weed, it's different amounts of time. Like
Ken, maybe if we start saying
I'm sorry,
test
Tasha.
like I'm sorry. Maybe if we stop saying test like alcohol and simply say if we test for inebriation, or maybe not inebriation, that's not a good word, or taste for not influence, intoxication, no.
Intoxication levels,
intoxication levels.
Like, why even?
So to me that says that it should be a swab that you either that they can check to see how long or thick is this residue inside of your mouth. So if it tests a 15 to 25, then you probably smoked within the last 45 minutes. So we should impaired. That's the word I was looking for. Impaired.
Impaired, yeah.
It might not be that we need to test how many nanograms are in the milliliter. We just might need to test how long has it been since you smoked. And if you smoked within the last, like you said, hour, because after an hour, maybe it's out of your mouth. But then again, the impaired means, what if you ate an edible?
Let me say this, you guys, because I know something here that's going to help us with this.
Okay.
These nanograms, I can't tell you, but me and Ken know a lawyer. We have a lawyer friend, a mutual lawyer friend, who taught me about this, and I don't know, I have permission to tell me to repeat what he said, so I won't tell you who said it. But let me say this. When he was explaining nanograms to me, he told me they made a blanket number. The state made a blanket number. How much was it, Ken? 15?
15 to 30.
15 to 30 nanograms. Yeah. That's all they're allowing. Do you know that isn't even one puff of marijuana?
I know, and that's so.
One puff of marijuana. Are you kidding me?
Right. So Tasha, back to what you were saying. That's I totally get what you mean as far as having a specific word that we use that doesn't tie to alcohol. But it's not fair that two guys can sit in a bar, have a beer, and leave that bar 20 minutes later, and they're still not intoxicated. Now, if I smoke even a half of a joint, I'm intoxicated.
Because of the blanket nanograms.
Right.
Right.
If we smoke, Kevin, no matter if we smoke a half a joint or we smoke 3, I might be higher, you know what I'm saying, more intoxicated with 3, but I'm still gonna be intoxicated. That's not. It has to be a different approach we can take. You know, y'all. We have to. It has to be a different approach.
Think about this. We have to have a law that people who's never used cannabis, right?
Yeah,
they've never used it before. But when they hear us explain what it's doing and why we're doing it this way, where they go, "Oh, that makes sense to me," because those are the people that are going to get it voted through on a ballot initiative if that's the way we have to go with it.
Yep. Because alcohol is processed through your liver. Marijuana can be processed. You know, it can be processed through the lungs, the stomach, the liver. No matter, you know, if it's in oil form, in flour form, if you smoke it. So it's so complex that it almost can't be. It has to be in the legal.
Think of the testing they did for alcohol on sober or intoxicating driving. That's the word we're using, right? Is intoxicating.
Okay. Intoxicated, right?
No, Tasha. What was your word?
What'd you say, Tasha? Impaired.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're all going to start using the same terms here, because we're going to be talking about this all summer while the house is out of session.
Yeah,
because we're about to be on break, Ken. You know that.
Yeah.
So just consider that there's 3.5 million people using cannabis in the recreational market. They said I read something on M Live. I think it said that 3.5 million people.
A lot of people are going to take that punch to the gut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna
Why
be.
would you put normal, hardworking people at risk of getting in trouble?
Yeah.
In your district, why would you allow your constituents to get in trouble for something? If they're right now, the status quo is 30 days.
That's
30,
crazy.
30 days back.
That's
You can be hot from 30 days. That's, I don't know, man. It's like,
it's not even.
that's outdated. Let's just say that it's an outdated enforcement policy. And there's groups out here. I'm going to try to reach out to a few of them and explain. Look, we're for roadside testing, but it needs to be accurate. It
Right.
needs to be reliable. It needs to be scientific. Man,
Yeah.
if you can send people to Mars, you can get a swab test on the roadside that will tell you me, Ken, and Kevin all weigh different weights. And we're all different sizes. We could all smoke, right?
Yep.
And they could say, you're good to drive, Mr. Brown. Your test is this many. It's whatever, however they register it, however the registry is done. It would be numerical, I guess.
Yeah.
And they would say, hey, it's like Cammy says, but would 1.4 be the same as it is for you and me, right? This is why I'm addressing this, is because we could smoke the same amount, Ken, but I weigh more than you, and it doesn't affect me like it affects you.
Right.
I mean, come on. Everybody smoked before, and 3 people will say they're riding and rolling, and one of them will say they don't feel nothing.
Right. That's what I was
right. So it still has to be a test to where it's not based off of numbers, but it's based off of your ability to perform certain duties, because that would entail if you are impaired or not. Because if you gave me a test based off of my numbers, again, I smoke good weed and concentrates, so my numbers are going to be high. But that's just me being medicated so that I can function normally. So what I would have to, yes.
Will you read this and answer that for her, for Cammy? Because we're going to stop this topic here in just a minute.
Okay.
Sure. Would you take a person to jail that is being treated for cancer and was in an accident after being treated versus a person taking RSO for the same cancer? Not sure I asked that correctly. Okay, would I take a person to jail who was in cancer?
With us? No.
And they just got into an accident. If it was a yes, I would.
Yes.
If I wouldn't care if you had cancer, I wouldn't care if you had AIDS, I wouldn't care. But if you are driving impaired and you cause an accident, that is impaired driving. And I know people who have fallen asleep behind the wheel and who have done damage. You still are legally liable for the damage that you caused.
But let me say this too: whether you're a member of the church or a faith or anything or not, just trying to be a good person, consider this: we know this is this product, it is intoxicating. We know this. No one's going to argue that. They have competitions to see who has the most intoxicating products on the market.
All day.
People are rewarded for this. People they become legends to just say legends. Literally, they'll become legends based on how intoxicating their products are. With that being said, we have a problem. There's already legislation and laws enacted that are in place today, and people could be pulled over that used even 30 days ago. They can be pulled over right now today, and they can be found to be under the influence because they'll have enough nanograms, as Ken described. It's only 15 to 30 in Ionia County, and because I know Ken's case, so I know what county it is.
Yeah.
And I live in Ionia County, so I mean, it's like it don't bother me because I don't have no issues, but there's people in this community that use recreational cannabis, and if you think about that 15 to 30 nanograms, that's basically one big puff of some pretty good smoke, and you're going to jail.
Yes.
And
okay.
That, to me, just doesn't seem right, because there's a lot of people out here that aren't partying. That some of these, most people use it for medical, whether they say it's for medical or not. They're using it like a medical. You know what? Like we use Tylenol. Yes. They're using it just like Tylenol.
Now, what about this? And I know you said you wanted to end this topic, so I'm hoping that this will help kind of close out that chapter we've been speaking on. I know you said they already have legislation, you know, in right now where they can do a mouth swab. If we go back to the original days of alcohol testing and blood alcohol testing, didn't they first do field tests before they administered? So couldn't we try to spin it that way? You know, if we can get.
They have a successful.
It all goes back to what Tasha was saying. Impaired. You know what I mean? Can you do this? Can you walk a straight line?
No. Can I say this?
Thank you. That's what I just said, Ken. Get away from the numbers, because, like Joe said, y'all can smoke the same joint, and his numbers are going to be different than your numbers. So my concern would not be the numbers, but my concern would be the ability to respond, the ability to walk a straight line, the ability to hold your eyes open and be able to concentrate and see and identify and respond. So that's why I said a field test. Base it off of and not the numbers. That's why I wasn't trying to be mean to the person who put that up there. I wasn't trying to be mean when I said I would file a case. I would send a cancer patient to jail for you. I wouldn't send you to jail for using RO, but if you were impaired, whether it was RO, whether it was morphine, Oxycontin, whether it was whatever. If you are impaired and you cause an accident, it's either enough damage to give you a ticket and send you home, or if you are that impaired and they have to send you to jail just like a drunk tank and wait till you're sober because you pose a threat to yourself or others if they just release you. I believe in following the law. That's all. Not closing, not pulling you out or charging you extra because it was RO or you're a cancer patient. I'm not out here just trying to lock up cancer patients, but if you're a cancer patient, you should have in place drivers to help you, somebody to get you your groceries, somebody to help you clean up if you need those things, so that you don't put yourself or others at risk. Sometimes it's being able to swallow your pride and be humble enough not just to ask for help, but to receive help.
Well, you guys, look, we got to move on to another topic, but obviously this is going to be a hot topic all summer. I'm not, we remember they're going to be gone. We got 3 months to work on this.
Yeah. What do you have, Kevin?
Hey, I was trying to say with that field sobriety test, if I take one and I'm not impaired, my equilibrium is always off. So I'm always going to fail it.
Yeah,
because of my head surgery.
Yeah, your surgery, right?
So, but we can end that. We can end that now, though, Joe. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, Tasha, you got anything you want to close on it? Tasha,
we can't hear you. I can hear you, Joe.
Okay.
I can hear you too, Joe.
Oh, we hear you, sis.
Can you hear us?
She timed out.
Hold on.
Come back in.
Are you there, Tasha?
I'm here.
We hear you.
Okay. Good. All right. So look, I'm just gonna say this, and then we got to move on to the next thing. It's a hot topic. Tammy, she's a member of. She's been a member for a few years with us. I'm glad you chimed in tonight, Cammy, and you guys, here's the thing. It's broken. I believe it's broken. I don't believe that. And I think you all agree with me on this. The status quo right now is going to get somebody in trouble that might not have used for 30 days is a broken system. That's not a system that we should be using.
No.
It's not the best system we could have in place to protect the public.
Not at all.
So anyways, let's move on to the next thing. I got notes wrote down about that. Let me just write one more time. Okay, so the other thing is the new. Here's another hot topic. I don't know if someone else is going to get in. Want to talk about this beside us, but I'm passionate about this. We brought bills to the House and passed the House, and then we get them to the Senate, and it was to legalize hemp food products for animals and for humans. And you're going to say, well, everybody's already doing it. Yes, but it is not legal. If you're licensed, this is the current status of hemp here in Michigan. If you're a licensee, which I'm a licensee, I'm on the permit to be a producer. We produce cosmetic products currently. We used to do smokable, and we don't do smokable anymore. We only do cosmetic products. So here's my beef. So I paid $1,350 to get my license. I cannot manufacture any food products for humans or for animals, and I cannot sell any product other than cosmetics at a farm market. So Ken, remember we used to make pies and
tea,
all kinds of coffee, all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah,
Well, they in 2016 they sent this letter, the FDA did, and said, hey, you can't do that no more. So we just did it from the farm market. I kept doing it anyways, and I just didn't do it commercially. I did it for people in the community. Like Kevin, I think I probably all of us, we've all had those products. You know, I make the small batches and sell them to people in the community,
right?
Just to keep the lights turned on,
right?
And with that being said, we finally get a bill through the House, get it to the Senate, and it's killed. And the FDA and the Democrats have said, specifically that they're gonna fix this problem. They've said it twice now. They haven't done it. Republicans wrote this bill, said they were going to get it fixed. It's still not fixed. People from out of state are selling. Ken, what did you call it? HHC?
HHC/THC.
HHC/THC.
Yes.
So they selling CBD, CBG,
CBN,
CBN.
Yep. TH.
Delta 8, Delta 8,
Delta 9,
Delta 8,
HHC,
Delta 9. These are all derived from hemp, by the way, if you're just tuning in or you haven't heard this discussion before. And most of these products, because we have to assume, because we were told by MDARD, the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, we were told specifically, you cannot make these products, they're illegal.
Yes.
And not only did MDARD tell us that, we have a special situation in Michigan where the Cannabis Regulatory Agency tells us what to do also. We got two state agencies that provide oversight for hemp. Yeah. So it's most likely because we go wherever we go, we see these products in Michigan, right? So we have to assume these are from out-of-state companies.
Well, I know. Yeah, I mean, I can give you a rundown exactly how I know exactly what they're doing. I know.
I wouldn't go into great detail because we don't want to have any problems.
No.
But I think
blowing up is. I mean, it's well-known information. I mean, if you're in this circle, these guys they don't hide it anymore because it's legal for them to do it.
Here's this is the first time I'm going to say this publicly, and I put myself at great risk for saying this, but I can tell you this, and I've collected a great amount of information on this. It is as easy as going to Amazon.com, and you can buy these types of products.
Yeah.
And you may say, well, how do you know this, Joe? That's a pretty big accusation. Well, let me tell you, I used to work there.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, they would not remove these products even after knowing they were illegal. Right. So I quit. I walked out. I'm not going to work at a place.
Those products for
they were forcing us
to package those
products. Just not me, everyone who works for them. Right, they're forcing them to unknowingly and unwillingly package federally illegal products that get people high.
And like Joe said, these are derived from industrial hemp.
So they have a legal loophole, they believe. Yeah. They believe they have a legal loophole, and they'll just go to court because there's a big company, and they didn't do anything wrong, so there's nothing to see here.
Wow.
I'm telling you, Kevin, I didn't tell you this story. Tasha knows a little bit about it. Ken knows a lot more about it than most of you guys because we talk more. But
one of my buddies is a driver for Amazon, and he kind of filled me in on a little bit of the stuff they're doing.
Loved it there. Let me be very clear. One of the most diverse companies I've ever worked at. Loved the diversity. The diversity was it was just great. It didn't matter what you did in your life, whether I agreed with the way you lived or you agreed with the way I lived. Everybody and anybody from every walk of life had a chance to be a boss there and show leadership and to make a living. But unfortunately, corporate greed, I believe that's what this was in this case. That's what I believe myself. They were selling, and they continue to sell even today. They sell products that are federally illegal. That if I sold these, with having a license here in the state of Michigan, I would have my license would be revoked. Do you guys know this? They revoke our licenses here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Wow.
You do what Amazon does, and they will take my license away. These people aren't even required to have a license, and they're selling millions of dollars of worth of stuff every single day.
And just to add, me and my fiance are heavy medical marijuana users because we both have ailments that, we have all the proof. But these HHC, THC products, man, they get you high. I'm talking like 8th grade high. Like you're stuck 8 hours. And these guys, they advertise it like that. They laugh talking about it. This is for the kids. You know what I mean? It's in the gas stations in Ohio, from Ohio to Florida, Tennessee, all throughout Michigan. And I'm telling you, bro, you know how much I can handle.
Yeah.
If I take they have popsicles and different edibles and stuff like that. Dude, you're done. It puts you down. It puts you down.
I tried the Delta 8 back. I don't know what. It was in the Kentucky days. You know what I'm talking way back. It was those people. Yeah. And they had given me the Delta 8. Me and Russell tried it. It was that white powder.
Yeah.
And we were so high off it. And then the guy was like, because it's derived from hemp, it's legal.
Right.
He's telling us this, and we were higher than a kite. And that's when we started the whole debate back then in 2014, and where I started telling people, hey, look, man, if it gets you high, whether it says hemp on the packaging or not, if it gets you high, it's not hemp.
And plus, we don't know how harmful this conversion is.
But they got to check that. I'm all for it. We're for that. Let them check it out. Let them look into it. Open the market up. We want hemp farmers to have another venue to sell. But bro, it's not that way. Instead, they make it illegal. Then all the out-of-state companies are here now. And now they sold up the market.
Yep.
And there's certain groups here in the state, without mentioning any, because you can't, they'll sue you.
Yeah.
There's groups in the state here, that's all they do. That's where they get their money from. And hey Tasha, I don't know if you know this or not, but there was this one group, they literally dropped off $5,000 in an envelope to me one day because they didn't want us to support, what was it, 4217 or something like that?
3517.
It was a House bill, but basically it made Delta 8 illegal in the state because they were going to put it in a regulated market. And that's how they killed it, is they put it in the regulated market and said, hey, until we know this stuff is safe, you can't sell it in the state. That's how they put the lockdown on it. This guy told us, here's 5Gs, tell them not to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, Kev, dude, it was on the front door. They literally came through the gate that says don't come in the gate.
Yeah.
And threw the envelope on the front door.
Wow.
On the ground.
Outside of the cameras where they couldn't be seen.
Wow.
No, there was no cameras when he did it.
Oh.
There was no cameras. The cameras are all been here for a year or less. The cameras that we had, them old school things, them things ain't worked in years. The ones that are on those poles with the lights on them.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, them things ain't worked, man.
Wow.
Yeah, we got cameras now.
Right.
We got cameras. That wasn't the only thing that happened. Some other foolishness stuff happened out here, and so we got more cameras. You got to understand. We're advertising a farm, and talking publicly with people about a hemp farm. These kids come out here, they think they're going to get a couple plants and run off the property with them.
Yeah.
We've caught a few of them.
And it's 90% more animals and vegetables than it is hemp out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And they did like 12 plants total.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It was straight research and development.
That's it. No, not selling any of it. Not growing to sell.
Right.
Just growing our legal 12 like everyone else can grow in the state.
Yeah.
And okay, so look, HHC, THC is being sold, CBD, CBG, CBN, Delta 8, Delta 10. What is Delta O? Has anybody done the Delta O yet? Anyone?
Mm-mm.
No, I've never even heard of it.
Okay, well, I had somebody tell me about Delta O at work. And I want to tell you guys something too. I'm working third shift. I can't tell you the company I'm working for, but I am a tool and die guy again. I always got to go back to that because I make pretty good money doing it. But let's be clear. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but that is not what I want to be doing is tool and die. I am grateful to have a job though, especially third shift. So I work 4 days a week, and I get 3 days off. So I get a whole day to hemp again, where I was only getting a half a day, and it wasn't during the week. So now I get Fridays is my hemping day is Fridays. And you guys, lawmakers, not all of them, but a lot of lawmakers are still at their office at 11, 12 o'clock on to 5 o'clock on Fridays. So I'm able to send out emails and communicate with folks and do things. Here's the point I'm trying to make. We're going to close on this subject because we got other stuff to talk about. But the session is about to end. We had spring break. Summer break is coming. We're basically going to have 3 months where nobody's going to get much done. Yeah, there's a few bills out here that are going to go through that we weren't part of them, but we have done things that are in those bills that we supported. And there's things in the bills we didn't support. And they may not even come to fruition. Okay. So they're not even worth discussing, at least on this episode. the point is we're going to have a few months to talk about this and think about these things. I noticed just from 2 episodes, everybody is starting to get opinions now.
Yeah.
We were all just talking last month, but today, everybody had 30 days to think about it. And Tasha had a lot of input this time compared to last time, and Kevin did. Me and you, Ken, were talking more about it last time than those two, but I think they were pretty chatty about it this time. Point being is everyone's got an opinion now.
And it's an actual discussion now, you know?
Yeah, we're discussing this. And our friends out there that got podcast, whether they want to choose to discuss this or not, they can count on us that we're going to discuss it, because it's taboo for, let's be honest, it's taboo for our friends. I'm not going to say who they are, but there's a bunch of them. There's probably 4 or 5 podcasts out there that should be talking about the same subject.
Yeah.
And there's some organizations out there that should be talking about the same subject, but it ain't good for business, so they're not going to talk about that. But we're going to, because until we get hemp food bills passed for humans and animals here in the state of Michigan, I'm going to be working 3rd shift jobs. Back in college, part time. I mean, this is all that money I had is gone, so I had to get a job. Luckily, I did something smart with it, and I lost Tasha. Let's see here.
No, she's still with us.
Tasha, you with us?
Yes, I don't know why it dropped off again.
Huh.
Actually,
okay.
There was just 2 Tashas.
It was.
Your twin joined in, Tasha.
Dropped off again.
She dropped again. You there now?
He's there.
I'm still here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you keep dropping on us. That's why I was asking. Okay. So in closing on this, why we want to have enforcement here in the state, let me just close with this, saying this. Anybody watching this, don't get it twisted. Just because we're talking about enforcement, not in any shape, form, or manner in any way will anyone go to jail in this enforcement discussion. For any legislation that we'd like to see in the future on enforcement, it will be monetary and license revocation, having your license revoked. In the inability to participate in a legal market if you're caught breaking these rules. Are you going to go to jail? Absolutely not. But you get caught one time and you're going to be taken out of the game for a while. You get caught the second time and you're going to be taken out of the game for a long time.
So you're talking just sanctions, no jail time?
No jail time, man. I just I will never agree to any legislation that puts people in jail for a plant.
On no level, on any level.
Any level, it doesn't matter. If somebody comes in and they get caught with 50,000 plants extra, burn them up, and take his license away. He ain't doing that again.
Exactly.
Okay, but that's possession. Okay, that's possession and growing. But let's get back to, if you was high and caused a car accident and somebody lost their life, you saying you still would object to somebody being charged with vehicular manslaughter and going to jail for?
No, Ken, it's good she asked. No, you're asking a great question. 2 different subjects. If you're getting high and you drive and you kill somebody, whether I love them or I know them or not, whether it's a complete stranger in another part of Michigan, you do that, you should be held responsible for it legally. But when we're talking about a separate issue, which is enforcement for licensees and unlicensees for hemp products in the state of Michigan, some of the products we mentioned, there should be penalties. There should be enforcement for that.
Yeah.
Oh, now I believe that. See, that's why I believe you have to be careful when you write a law, because I don't believe in having laws that you cannot enforce, because what do you have it for anyway? You can't have, that's a scare tactic to me.
Well, they
So
did that.
without the
They did that, Tasha.
force. Yes, but that's when we realized it's just a scare tactic, and now we know how to go back and change the law to how it should be. That's why you're the lobbyist.
Let me tell you how we got here. Was it House Bill 4517, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, 4517. What that did was, this is where the governor changed the definition of marijuana to cannabis and changed the marijuana regulatory agency to the cannabis regulatory agency. All this stuff happened as a result of House Bill 4517. Now, let me remind everybody, this is a Democratic bill that we supported. We are nonpartisan. It's always important when we have the opportunity to say that we worked with people on the left, that we mention that, because we are not a partisan group. We are not left or right. We do the next right thing. Right. We're a faith-based organization, and we don't take sides. We just try to do the next right thing. And we're out here to help the farmer and help the people, and we're definitely not putting nobody in jail for enforcing licensing issues. See, for example, I have a license, Tasha. If I get caught selling edibles with CBD in them, just CBD, I'm not even going to go into the psychotropic stuff, that the what do we call them? Derivatives?
Yes.
That's a great word. The derivatives of hemp that get you high, there's singular molecular isotope products. Ken mentioned HHC, THC. Another one that I'm familiar with is Delta 8. But they do have Delta 9. They have Delta O, Delta 0. These products get you high.
And they also have products with all of these cannabinoids in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do. Get you higher.
They even get you higher.
But
when
guess
I got
what?
high off Delta 8, I couldn't believe it. I got high off something that was made out of hemp, and it got me higher than a kite.
Okay, all right. I know we're trying to get off this subject, but
yeah,
I know it just circles back. So now what if I use a HHC product, you use a THC product, and we both go drive off and we get pulled over?
Now
what's your scenario with that?
Brother, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's happening right now today. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're probably I'm gonna guess, and I'm not a scientist, so I'm guessing right now. My guess is, though, you're not going to test positive with these synthetic hemp products. You're going to test positive for the natural products.
Yes.
And here's another thing I want us all to think about this situation is how do I say it? These products that all get you high, that are derivatives of hemp. And Ken, you were with me at the hearing downtown. You know what that lady said in the end? I mean, we know she said it was a safety issue and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, what else did she say? She said
the process.
The marijuana people at the end of the day cannot compete with these products. And these products would be they would put her clients at a competitive disadvantage.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, one of the people we're going to go back to is that lawyer's boss. I know her. It's Denise Pellicella. She used to be my lawyer. And I say, hey, look, we're trying to put legislation together. We need your help. These products, they're legal. They're flooding the market, and they're directly negatively impacting legitimate marijuana and cannabis regulatory agency establishments. Yeah, legitimate businesses. They're directly competing with them. Their interest should be in following what we're trying to do here.
I'm thinking already. You could tell by what she said, and that it already is, and they probably already have the data on it. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it'd be nice to ally up with her. She's left the door open for us. Have her contact info. I'm definitely going to reach out to her. Mrs. Policella's attorney that she has working for her. Do you remember her name, Ken? I can't remember her name.
No, I don't.
Really nice lady though, but she it's unfortunate that House Bill 5058 and that package of bills wasn't passed, because now we have to go into an enforcement realm now.
Right.
You know, and it makes me think that there's people that supported that really like to see that. You know, that they think, well, yeah, they thought they were going to get their bills. Now they got to do an enforcement. I'm telling you, somebody somewhere is saying they're going to do our dirty work for us.
Yep. Because in their eyes, we already kind of did it before. Not the dirty work, but I mean the dirty work. You know, not.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we already did it. So in their eyes, why wouldn't we do it again?
Yeah. Well, okay. So look, we're gonna touch this every month for the next 3 months,
okay,
till they come back. Okay, some things I gotta mention. Let me flip this over, you guys. Okay, so the Michigan Hemp Festival this year will be on the last Saturday of August. It coincides with the Saranac Bridge Fest. Okay, but
right.
We haven't figured out yet. Well, let me say this: what we do know, we know it's going to be private this year, just like it was in the past. Ken,
yeah,
having you too, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to be private. Here's how what we're gonna do that we've never done before. That we're dependent on Harrison. For those that don't know him, his nickname is Pookie. He's on the board. He handles all the technical stuff for the organization. He's gonna, like we're doing live stream right now. We're gonna live stream for an hour or two at the Hemp Festival this year. And I'm not going to announce who we are trying to hire for to be the keynote speaker. But let me say this, you guys, I did get authorized from the board to pay the speaker money and to speak for 1 hour for $200.
Okay.
And that money's already been provided to the nonprofit for that specific purpose. And I haven't reached out to the gentleman yet. I will say it as a gentleman, and I will say this: as far as I'm concerned, he is. Don't say his name if you think of who I say. What I say, don't say his name. But I think he's the leader of the hemp food grain industry here in the U.S. Or I think he was at one time.
Yeah.
He may not be now, but I'm telling you, he's still someone to reckon with. And I'd like,
he's a big dog.
Huh?
Yeah, he's a big dog.
Yeah, I think you know who I'm talking about. So
yeah,
I'd like to see him. I believe that he would talk with our organization on this format for an hour, and we can ask him some questions and get him on the show. And then I'm going to personally cook like I have in the past for all the other events. I'm going to cook the food, you guys, and feed everybody. And hopefully we can all make it here, whether it be at my house. We're trying to build a pavilion here. I don't know if it'll be done in time. I'm trying. But, you know, I'm doing it all myself, just me and Tim Biggs. Okay. And my sons help me occasionally, but, you know, they work full time too, you guys. So, but that's where we would put it'd probably be like 40 or 50 of us, like it has been in the past. And that's it.
Right.
We're this year, I don't want to have the government here. You know, if people want to meditate and medicate, they're welcome to. You know, this isn't a cannabis event. This is a private party.
Well, and that's why we operate. We have the right to operate in the private with the organization. You know.
Yeah, that's it. This is
we can pick and choose. You know, if we want to go public or private.
Yeah, we're not going public this time. This is a private event.
This is good.
Now we're being, I believe, you know, and if somebody doesn't agree, I'm sorry, but I think we're being gracious, spending our hard-earned money to I have keynote speakers show up and discuss the hemp grain industry here and how big it is and how little it has been tapped into here in
Michigan.
United States.
Yeah, definitely.
I see a lot of people going toward hempcrete. But you at the end of the day, you guys, and Ken, you know this better than all the rest of them. If they don't know how to do construction, they ain't going nowhere. I don't care what they think they're promoting or whatever. They're going to be stuck in a group of people that don't. At the end of the day, all they're doing is doing videos about other people.
That's all.
Kevin, I'm telling you, bro. I ain't trying to hate on nobody. I'm telling you right now, people are. The market is flooded with podcasts of people who bring other people on who are the experts. They're not the actual experts.
They're not the experts.
Like us. Like we can. What you want to do? Tell us what you want us to do. We'll do it.
Right.
We can do it ourselves.
You guys
show on ourselves.
Do you guys know how many events I've spoken at across the United States just because I actually helped build something, a structure with Hempcrete? I just didn't talk about it. I just didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had the time and data stamped pictures to prove all of this. And this was done, close to 10 years ago, and these guys still haven't done nothing but talk about it.
Bro, they're not even they haven't even made anything yet. They haven't
made anything yet.
Nothing. They're buying hemp herders
for the small building that we constructed almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
They said, well, why didn't you make a business out of it? We was in business doing CBD. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We had Tommy Chong. Bro, we had Tommy Chong and Ross Rabalati, the gold medalists. And they'll say, oh, well, that was then. What have you done lately? And I'm just like, we're restricted by the laws. We formed an organization to fight back.
We follow the law. We always have.
We follow the law. We're fighting back. That's where we meet every month, and we have this podcast. Look, we're having the Michigan Hemp Fest here, or at the back of the building. We're gonna put a tent up, a big white tent, and we'll have a private one there. We haven't decided yet, but you guys, we may have the dinner and the speaking thing the day before the Bridge Festival, so that'd be on a Friday, because I don't have to work Friday. So we'd have it Friday, or we would have it Sunday. We would basically, they wouldn't be on the same day, so we don't have all the traffic. But what do you guys think? Because see, if we have it on the same day, if you want to leave our thing and go into town and eat cotton candy or have a glass of wine or a cup of beer or however, whatever they do at the beer tents they have all that stuff downtown. It gives people the option to be able to leave our little thing and go and do something locally. That was my thinking. Here's the problem, schedule wise, and then I'll go on to the next thing. Is we'll have the second annual Father Joe fishing contest this year.
Okay.
So I'm thinking we do that. I may take a Friday off. I may take Thursday night off so that Friday morning I can get up early, because I'm working third shift, and basically go do that thing with the kids and do that from like 9 to noon.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, come back and start cooking. And we have our little festival and our little show. It lasts like 2 hours, and then it's over. I eat some dessert, have some food. We're gonna on the podcast. All three of us. Hopefully, we have Jalen show up for that one. All four of us will be up there speaking. Probably my son Russell will be up there, being that he's the president, and we'll be talking about hemp grain. That's this year's theme, you guys, is hemp grain. Nobody's putting processing centers in. So I think that's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to step forward and do it.
Yeah, there right now there are processing out of state.
Yeah, it's not happening here.
Yeah,
And no one, if without the processing center for the farmer to take the crop to and get paid,
and what do we have?
They're not going to do nothing. So
Right.
somebody's got to jump forward and actually make a processing center for grain.
Yeah, I agree.
We have enough relationships, you guys, and I know I keep saying I'm going to close, but I got to say this. We have a good relationship with some universities and some people in those universities that are high-ranking officials, and they would help us. And we have friends at the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. They would help us.
Yes, we do.
They want a hemp industry. They want a successful, thriving hemp industry here in the state of Michigan. And that's the way we do it is as we work with our local, state, and government officials to find success in the missions that we're trying to achieve here. Let's see here. We're getting close to the end, guys. So we got about 14 minutes, and we're going to shut her down. Trying to think. We covered. Okay, we got the roadside. We got the new legislation. We did the hemp festival. Has anybody heard of any legislation besides Tasha? I know you have some, so you may be the only one speaking on this. Has anybody heard or have you read the federal hemp legislation that the feds had put out? That Tasha sent a link to me about it. Anyone else know anything about it?
No, I haven't.
Tasha, will you tell them what you know?
Send me that link she sent you, Joe.
What's that?
Okay. Which one that because I sent you like 4.
Well, the last one you sent me was specifically about hemp.
Each one of them was about. Are you talking about the hemp? The one with the 3D printing, building the house?
Nope. I was talking about the basically they were going to fix the hemp food problem on a federal level that we had tried to fix on a state level. That was basically what I took out of it. But I haven't seen anything introduced. Yeah, they introduced it, but they haven't put it in committee.
Oh yeah, they mentioned it, but there was never. I haven't seen any publications, following up about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard nothing. That means they mentioned it.
Yeah, the one that I sent you about that was the legislation that they were introducing to regulate it federally so that it would be more unification, so that some states could do it, some states could not do it, so that way that they would legalize it federally so that they could dictate it federally so that we wouldn't have so much of this intrastate fighting.
Got you.
Right. Okay.
Well, we're going to keep trying to get it legalized. We should have legalized hemp food here for all of our licensees to be able to grow hemp food for animals and humans here and not be at risk of losing our licenses or having enforcement taken against us. And we should be able to, the people that are going to do that and break the law, they should know that if you come to Michigan and you break the law, you're going to be restricted from this legal market, and you'll have your ability to do business here in the state of Michigan removed. I think we can all agree upon that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Tasha's going to have me and Kevin go down for the day. Ken, I don't know if you want to go with us or not, but we're going to go to Dayton. And
yeah, when are you going?
We're going on Juneteenth.
Yeah, we'll
June,
go. I'll go for sure.
Yeah, we're
June
going for the whole
17th.
day.
I kept
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
June.
count me in.
Yeah,
Okay, so I will make room for you all for the
Thank you,
Juneteenth
ma'am.
presentation. And I'll have Central State University's Extension Services there. And that is our HBCU who
Yes,
has the
ma'am.
land grant. That's who has the land grant and who is currently growing hemp right now.
Yes,
okay.
I've seen them on Instagram.
Okay. And Tasha, you check out what we were talking about before the show for us.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Well, we're waiting to hear back. So you guys know this. We did receive our seed to be able to do the hemp trial for the hemp field trial for the hemp green. I did receive this seed this week. I have not heard
Hey.
back. Yeah, we got it. We got it. It's and he also emailed me the directions or instructions on
Wow.
what he felt like would be the best planting method, in
Okay.
his opinion, through their
Right.
R&D, through their research and development. So I have that, and we will follow that. So we try to maximize our harvest. And but here's the thing: I haven't heard back from the gentleman that is this, stepped forward and said he was going to do this. So we may have to try to find a backup, which could or could not happen, but it has to happen if it is going to happen by the 15th of May, because we need to be able to plant this variety of hemp seed by the 15th of May. Now, I'm going to reach out to the gentleman after the show and remind him of that, and hopefully he'll respond. But if we don't hear from him soon, we're going to have to we'll just have to move forward. We have to grow the seed and do the trial. So
You have to.
yeah. So there's my 2 cents on that. What do you think? Does anybody else have anything else?
No, not right offhand, Joe.
No.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Great discussion.
Now, I know there's other hemp organizations in the state and around the country and around the region that are having events. Okay. I'm going to be very frank about this. We don't publish them or share them here on the show because you folks don't publish or share anything we do. So we're going to follow suit with that. And we wish your events the very best. Ours are with or without you. They have been for over a decade now. It's really strange, you guys, that the newbies I have this strange idea of how to treat other folks in the industry that have been here for a lot longer than they have. But we can just wish them well, and hopefully they do good. We've already seen a couple of them come and go. So Ken knows this better than anybody else, especially on our adventures down in Kentucky, Kevin. Me and Ken would go down to.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
you. Was,
I've heard some stories about the Kentucky situation.
Man, they had people that was going to be quad billionaires.
In a year.
Yeah, in a year, and they was promising them 20,000 an acre. And dude, you should have seen all this madness they had down there.
And a lot was based off of our research.
Yeah, and they was taking a lot of our ideas and running with them. And I was just like, what? Man, I couldn't wait to get away from that place. Ken knows this because he was with me. You should never be involved in a business deal, a legal business deal, where you feel like you could be endangered.
Right.
I'm not going to go into any details, but Ken, you know what I'm talking about too.
Yeah, it's like when you get to a certain level, you don't expect certain dirty practices and
shenanigans. There were shenanigans.
They seem like they actually get worse.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Oh
all the
yeah, that
sharks,
was
all
it
the
was
sharks come out.
it was
Yeah.
disappointing more than anything. It was more than anything. It was disappointing.
But all these organizations out here, these other hemp organizations, I want you guys to think about this because sometimes I have to remember it myself. My wife's the one who brought it to my attention one day because I was feeling low, and I thought, man, nobody ever supports us. They don't help us, and they do their own thing, and they're on a different wavelength than we are. And my wife said, well, of course they're on a different wavelength. You're 10, 11, 12, 13 years ahead of most of them.
Yeah, we're pioneers. I mean,
They don't. You've already done what they're trying to do. You've already done that already.
Exactly.
You know that? Think about that, you guys. Every single one of us, we've been doing this a long time. This ain't no new game to us. None of us.
No. We are the pioneers.
Yeah, this is before it was. We was doing things before it was right. Before it was right, we was doing it.
Yeah, that's the truth, bro.
That's it. And whether people agree with that or not, it is what it is. And all of us are good people today, and we were good people then, and we're good people now. The laws were wrong. The laws should have never been what they were. And hey, I mean, they may not be perfect, but our organization, we together have the ability. We have a loud enough voice where they listen to us, whether it be through the Michigan Hemp Farmer Association or through Conservative Christians for Cannabis Reform. They listen to us and they listen to our opinion. So
I can find out.
Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna play the little outro hemp podcast and get us out of here. But let's get together next month. I'll be talking to each one of you separately during the month, and we'll probably have some emails together. But at some point here, I have to put a letter together that we can all agree on each one of these matters. And that'll be in the next 3 months. I'd say in about 95 days from now, we'll be putting that letter together and sending it out to these lawmakers. Tasha said at the beginning of the show, we got an election year coming up, and people are running for office, and they're all ears, and they want to hear us, and they want to see us, and we're going to make ourselves appear, and we're ready to put our work in. I'm going to work hard for every one of you guys out there that is watching, and everyone.
I bought a couple suits just for this occasion.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Kevin. Ken, you've been down day one. Tasha, you've been there for years. So we're going to talk to these folks. If you think there's not a voice for minorities here in Michigan or the small farmer, you're wrong, because you're talking and listening to us right now. So we're here to fight for you guys and fight for us. And with that being said, everybody have a great night. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to do the outro here. Let me pull everybody off, and have a good night, and God bless. See you now.